Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving into a comprehensive strategic view of B2B commerce today, and we're exploring a massive shift that the source material didn't just call an upgrade, it really called it a competitive necessity.
Hmm.
We're talking about these intelligent, sort of independent software programs, what the analysis refers to as AI agents, and, how they're fundamentally transforming these really complex business transactions.
Right, into something that's much closer to, I guess, self-driving commerce.
Exactly.
And that's right. You provided us with a truly detailed analysis of these agentic AI systems and how they're being applied across 5 major industries. I mean, from sophisticated automotive supply chains all the way to high-tech software subscription models.
It's a huge range.
It is. So our mission today is to really give you the shortcut. We need to extract the core operating principles that allow these multi-agent systems to function. We need to understand the 5 key technology pillars that are actually driving this transformation, under the surface.
And see how it all works in practice.
And see exactly how this intense level of automation is leading to smarter, faster, and much more personalized B2B interactions.
What's so fascinating to me here is just the sheer scope of the change. The source material frames this entire technological shift as a necessary evolution. It's about moving away from these slow, manual, relationship-heavy processes.
Right, the old way of doing things.
And toward these highly intelligent, data-driven systems. It basically suggests that if you are a B2B operator and you are not moving toward this model, you are actively choosing to lose the race.
Indeed. And it's not just about automating one tiny step of a process. It's about handing over entire transactional workflows to AI systems that can, think, remember, and act independently.
Okay, so to give you the framework for that independence, what are we going to look at?
Well, we're going to examine not just what these agents do, but the foundational components like perception, memory, and if you will, their internal brain
Yeah.
that actually enable them to act autonomously. Got it. So we'll start by defining the anatomy of a single AI agent. Then look at the specialized roles they play in commerce. And finally, we'll anchor those concepts with those fascinating sector-specific examples you provided.
Let's start at the fundamental level then. We're calling them AI agents, but what really makes them different from the standard software we've all been using for years? This is the definition of the shift, right?
The key difference is its independence, adaptability, and the ability to use tools.
Yeah.
Traditional software, it just follows a sequence of pre-programmed instructions. If A happens, do B.
Right, very linear.
Very linear. Modern AI systems, particularly these agentic architectures, are just far more complex. They learn from the environment and from experience. They can use external tools or APIs to execute actions. And crucially, they can collaborate with other systems to complete tasks that no single piece of software could ever handle alone.
So if traditional software is like a highly organized spreadsheet, the agent is more like an employee who doesn't really need a boss. It sort of anticipates what you need.
That's a great analogy. Traditional software is reactive. Agentic AI is proactive. In the context of B2B portals, where orders are complex, contracts are dense, and logistics are layered, this shift means providing a truly seamless, intelligent, and deeply personalized experience for customers.
So the AI isn't just sitting there waiting for input.
Exactly. It's anticipating the next procurement step, or checking the supplier market, or adjusting inventory allocation based on shared context and historical data. It's always thinking ahead.
That concept of shared context is so critical, which brings us directly to the idea of multi-AI agentic systems. So we're not talking about one single super agent, are we? It's more like a digitized project team.
That's it. That's specialization in action. The complexity of B2B commerce, lead management, technical quoting, payment, fulfillment, it's just too much for a single general-purpose AI.
Sure, it'd be overwhelmed.
It would. So we deploy specialized individual AI programs, each focusing on one facet of the transaction, and they communicate constantly. For instance, you might have one specialized agent that's focused only on checking real-time global commodity pricing, while another specialized agent is only focused on ensuring inventory is available across, say, 5 regional warehouses.
And they're sharing their findings instantly.
Instantly. They act like a unified team, ensuring a smooth, cohesive workflow across the entire customer experience, even when they're solving different problems at the same time.
Okay, so that coordination is only possible because each agent is built on this robust internal structure. Let's break that down. You mentioned the 5 core components that give an AI agent this autonomy.
Yes, these are the functional pillars that allow it to operate independently.
All right, let's take them in order. First, the agent has to interact with the messy, real world of business data. That means perception.
Perception is the agent's eyes and ears.
Mm.
It's the ability to gather and interpret data, and often from disparate and unstructured sources. Think about a standard B2B inquiry.
Right, it could come from anywhere.
Exactly. It might come in through a chat message, a formal email, or even transcribed notes from a service call. The agent pulls information from all these sources, emails, chat history, CRM records, transaction histories, to recognize the inquiry and analyze the underlying trend.
Can you give us a really concrete example of that perception working on, say, unstructured data?
Certainly. Imagine a long-term distributor sends an email that just says, "We need to reorder part 47 beta, but we think we should get a better deal than last time since our volume is up 15%.
Okay, a typical negotiation eval.
Right. The agent's perception component doesn't just register part 47 beta order.
Yeah.
It interprets the natural language, recognizes the request for bulk pricing, it cross-references the customer's purchase data, which confirms the 15% volume increase, and it flags the inquiry as requiring dynamic negotiation, all before a human has even opened the email.
Wow. Okay, so that initial interpretation then moves to the second critical component, the brain. This is where the decisions get made, the planning happens, and the strategy is executed. This has to be the core logic that differentiates it.
The brain is the strategic hub. It takes that perceived input and processes it against its knowledge and its goals to determine the most effective course of action. And this is particularly crucial in really complex scenarios, like supply chain management, where you have to make trade-offs instantly.
What kind of complex trade-offs are we talking about?
Think about the moment a major manufacturing client submits a massive multi-part order. The brain processes this, but it simultaneously pulls data on current warehouse stock, fluctuating supplier lead times, and global logistics constraints, tariffs, shipping costs, delivery urgency.
All these variables at once.
All at once. And the real insight here is that the AI makes these complex, minute-by-minute trade-offs something a human team would take a full afternoon to rationalize in meetings in just milliseconds.
That's incredible.
It is. If stock is low, the brain decides the optimal sourcing. It can identify the fastest or the cheapest supplier, reroute orders to alternative warehouses in neighboring regions, or even recommend partial shipments to fulfill the most urgent components first. It's fundamentally compressing the time-to-delivery metric while optimizing for cost.
Now, to make those smart decisions, it can't just rely on current data. It needs historical context, right? That's where the third component, knowledge, comes in.
Exactly. And knowledge isn't just raw data. It is access to the structured business insights from the core enterprise systems. What the industry calls systems of record think of your enterprise resource planning, your ERP, and customer relationship management, or CRM systems.
Okay, so this is essential for any kind of personalized engagement.
It's everything. Without this knowledge, the agent is just a fast calculator. But with it, it becomes an expert consultant.
So it turns raw numbers into actionable business insight.
Precisely. For a B2B procurement manager using the platform, an agent can analyze comprehensive supplier data, not just the current spot pricing, but critically, their historical delivery speed, their reliability score, their quality control track record, and payment terms, to recommend the absolutely best vendor for a specific high-stakes need. It leverages decades of structured business knowledge to inform a real-time decision.
That personalized context is, well, it's useless if the agent forgets what happened 5 minutes ago, which brings us to the fourth component, memory. This is critical for continuity and prediction.
Memory stores both short-term context, so the agent remembers the specific parameters you agreed on in the chat window during that session, and long-term data, which is what enables predictive personalization.
Right.
In the high-stakes B2B world, where deals are based on years of specific contractual agreements, that long-term memory is just non-negotiable.
I see. So instead of having to look up a master service agreement every single time a quote is generated, the agent just uses its long-term memory to speed up the whole process.
Exactly. Long-term memory allows the agent to recall specific customer contracts and preferred rates, then automatically apply those rates or discounts when creating a new sales quote or processing an order for a returning buyer. This ensures contractual compliance and maximum speed without the human oversight or delay that's usually required to validate complex pricing tiers.
And finally, the fifth component, which is tools. This is the agent's ability to actually execute actions in the real world. I imagine this is where a lot of the technical integration complexity lies, because the agent needs to connect directly to the business's IT infrastructure via APIs.
You've hit it on the head. This is the agent's hands and feet. The tool component gives the agent the permission to act on its decisions by connecting with internal enterprise systems via application programming interfaces or APIs. The agent has to be able to act autonomously.
So that's an example of that.
If a wholesaler places a bulk order, the AI agent's tool access allows it to update the CRM record, check inventory levels in the live ERP system, process the invoice, and schedule the delivery immediately, all in one seamless flow, entirely without human involvement.
That seems incredibly powerful, but it also raises a bit of a flag for me. If an AI agent has the ability to connect via API to sensitive data systems like ERP and CRM, and it's acting autonomously, doesn't that introduce a massive security and governance vulnerability? How does the source material address that potential risk?
That's a very fair and critical point. The source implies that the security model for these agentic systems is fundamentally different from traditional software access. The tools are not just given carte blanche access. They operate within highly specialized audited frameworks.
Okay, so there are guardrails.
Serious guardrails. Essentially, the brain has to justify the action based on predefined business rules before the tool can even access the API. The entire system hinges on rigorous data governance, a point we'll definitely elaborate on in Section 2, ensuring that the agent's actions are auditable, justifiable, and contained. This is how independence translates into hyperautomation without introducing that systemic risk.
Okay, that makes sense. So you have a perception layer, a planning layer, a knowledge layer, a memory layer, and a tool layer, all working in concert. Now, how do we bring that back to coordination through multi-agent frameworks? How does this sophisticated internal structure enable multiple agents to work together?
Well, since B2B processes are inherently complex and sequential, a lead is generated, then qualified, then quoted, then fulfilled, the agents require a framework to manage that handoff. The source details several frameworks designed specifically to facilitate structured communication and collaboration between these specialized agents.
Give me an example of one of those frameworks in action.
Sure, imagine a complete customer journey optimization framework. An initial lead qualification agent identifies a high-potential corporate buyer based on their browsing behavior. That's the perception part.
Right.
It then passes that high-value lead, along with all the gathered context and memory, to the contract negotiation agent. This agent immediately initiates an optimized quoting process using its brain and knowledge. After the deal is closed, the context moves to the post-sale support agent, which manages onboarding and monitors for any churn risk.
So by working together, these agents create a unified workflow where the handoff between specialized roles is instantaneous and it's based on shared, rich context. The result is optimized sales, marketing, procurement, and customer support, leading to a huge boost in efficiency.
A significant and noticeable boost.
Exactly.
A boost in efficiency and personalization across the entire business lifecycle.
Okay, so that brings us to Section 2.
Right. The deployment of those highly capable collaborative agents is merely the execution layer. The entire structure just collapses if the underlying technology foundation isn't ready for it.
So it's all about the foundation.
It is. The successful shift to intelligent B2B commerce requires a robust foundational technology strategy, which the source material breaks down into 5 key pillars. This strategy has to focus simultaneously on improving efficiency, enhancing customer interactions, and driving sustainable growth.
This is where businesses need to stop thinking about just a feature list and start thinking about a holistic strategy. Let's start with Pillar 1, which is self-service digital commerce.
This is a critical cultural shift. B2B buyers today are primarily millennials and Gen Z who, they grew up expecting e-commerce convenience. They demand convenience similar to the best consumer experiences they have every single day.
And what does that translate to in B2B?
It translates to expecting real-time inventory tracking, flexible pricing displays that are tailored specifically to their existing contract, and seamless subscription-based ordering models.
And the major implication here isn't just customer satisfaction, is it? It's more than that.
Absolutely not. This self-service capability dramatically simplifies the buying process by transferring low-value, repetitive tasks like checking the price of 100 widgets away from expensive human sales representatives and onto the platform itself.
So it frees up the human team.
It completely frees up the human sales force to focus their time and expertise on the complex, high-value negotiations, large-scale customizations, or that high-touch relationship building. It's really about optimizing your human capital by automating the routine.
Okay, so once the customer is engaging in that digital channel, they need to find what they're looking for. Pillar 2 moves us into that intelligence at the entry point. AI-driven search and recommendations. And B2B catalogs are not like consumer apparel catalogs. They are inherently complex, often containing thousands of CSUs, technical components.
Things that look identical to the untrained eye.
Exactly.
That's the challenge. A procurement manager for a specialized manufacturer might need a very specific polymer resin. Manually sifting through technical specifications is just a nightmare.
So how does AI help?
AI transforms how buyers navigate this complexity by understanding their intent, not just their keywords. It offers highly personalized suggestions, smart product displays that adapt based on the user's role and purchase history, and quick access to precise documentation. This accelerates product discovery, which is crucial when you're dealing with complex machinery or niche components where the risk of error is incredibly high.
We've talked a lot about personalization, and that brings us to Pillar 3, content management and consistency. If you're going to personalize experiences across different channels, the online portal, mobile, a specialized marketplace, you have to have a unified content strategy.
And in B2B, content consistency is often a matter of compliance and function, not just branding. AI-powered tools are essential here because they manage these immense libraries of digital assets, they ensure consistent branding and messaging, and they deliver personalized content through APIs to guarantee a smooth, accurate buying experience no matter the customer touchpoint.
And that consistency has to go pretty deep, right?
It has to extend from detailed product specifications and descriptions to critical compliance documents and regional certifications, ensuring accuracy and reliability worldwide. Without this centralized content management, the agents we discussed back in Section 1 would be generating quotes based on outdated or, worse, non-compliant information.
Which brings us to Pillar 4, which directly impacts the profitability metric. Dynamic pricing and quoting. In the past, B2B pricing was static. It relied on a price sheet that was updated maybe quarterly. That model just can't keep up with the volatility of raw material costs or supply chain disruptions.
Or aggressive competitor actions. This is where B2B commerce gets truly sophisticated. Dynamic pricing models adjust in real time, sometimes minute by minute, based on fluctuating demand, competitor actions, inventory levels, and specific past transactions with that particular customer.
So it goes far beyond just simple segmentation.
Far beyond. Furthermore, the automation extends to the negotiation phase. Automated quote approvals and real-time discounts dramatically accelerate negotiations, cutting the lag time from days down to minutes and speeding up deal closure. This directly maximizes revenue capture and margin protection in these volatile markets.
You know, for years, B2B sales was built on relationships, on handshake deals, and the art of the long negotiation. Now an algorithm is literally optimizing the final price in real time based on a dozen moving factors. That must fundamentally shift the role and, well, perhaps even terrify the old guard sales teams who built their careers on those lengthy personal interactions.
It definitely forces a pivot. The human element shifts from being a price setter to being a strategic relationship manager. They're overseeing the AI's pricing, focusing on highly bespoke deals and managing the long-term relationship. The AI takes over the transactional high-volume price optimization. It ensures the price is always market optimal, which a human simply cannot do at scale.
And finally, Pillar 5. This feels like the ultimate strategic goal: customer intelligence and predictive analytics. What's the technological requirement to achieve this deep level of insight?
This requires a centralized customer data platform, or CDP. For the listener, a CDP is a specialized piece of software designed to ingest, cleanse, and unify data from every single touchpoint, web browsing, purchase history, service tickets, email campaigns, to create a detailed, unified, and accurate profile of every customer.
So that unified profile is the foundation for everything else.
Yes. This intelligence is the lifeblood of future action. It allows the business to move from simply tracking what happened to predicting what will happen. They can predict future buying behavior, tailor marketing efforts, adjust pricing strategies preemptively, and automate sophisticated loyalty programs. This predictive insight directly increases customer lifetime value.
It moves the relationship from reactive servicing to proactive partnering.
That's the goal. But none of this works, as you mentioned earlier, without a rock-solid foundation. Let's expand on the critical context of the data backbone. Success in all 5 of these pillars hinges entirely on unified, well-managed, and most importantly, AI-ready data. If your data is siloed, your inventory data is in one system, your customer notes are in another, and your pricing rules are on a spreadsheet, the agents we discussed are blind. A disjointed data system leads to fatal inefficiencies, and it limits all those crucial predictive abilities.
So the investment required here isn't just in the AI agents themselves, it's in unifying the entire infrastructure underneath them.
Absolutely. Companies must invest heavily in centralized data platforms that integrate seamlessly with all systems of record ERP for operational reality, CRM for customer history, and supply chain systems for logistics. And as you raised earlier, proper governance and security must be paramount.
It has to be.
When an AI agent is making a high-stakes decision like routing a multi-million-dollar order or setting a dynamic price, that data has to be secure, clean, and its use has to be auditable. Data governance is the trust mechanism that allows the entire autonomous commerce system to operate safely.
Okay, that strong technology strategy gives a business the platform to deploy specific specialized intelligence. So Section 3 moves us into the execution phase. The 5 specialized agent roles that the source material identifies.
Right.
These agents transform core B2B processes by leveraging those foundational capabilities: perception, reasoning, knowledge, memory, and execution we just discussed.
Think of these as the executive team of your autonomous commerce platform. They are not generic AI. They are highly specialized roles focused on solving specific, persistent business pain points within the B2B transaction lifecycle.
Let's start with the workhorse, Agent 1, the intelligent order assistant. What is its key function in automating these B2B transactions?
Its primary function is automating the entire order-to-cash operation and maximizing customer self-service. In a B2B context, this is often complicated by credit terms, volume discounts, and fulfillment preferences. The order assistant uses its memory to instantly recognize the buyer, their contract, and their typical ordering patterns.
And what's the tangible impact of that automation? What do businesses see?
The impact is felt immediately in processing speed. It recommends relevant products, it suggests optimal pricing based on inventory levels, and crucially, it automates complex pricing approvals and inventory checks via direct integration with the ERP.
So it removes the bottleneck.
It completely eliminates the manual review queue for standard orders. This results in drastically faster processing times, a higher percentage of transactions done via self-service channels, and ultimately, better sales conversion rates because the friction is gone.
Okay, moving beyond the initial order processing, we look at logistics with Agent 2, the dynamic fulfillment optimizer. This is all about inventory allocation and logistics for faster, cheaper deliveries.
The fulfillment optimizer is the AI that manages the physical reality of the supply chain. Its primary function is to constantly monitor real-time stock levels, demand spikes, and warehouse capacity across the entire enterprise network.
And how does that look when an order comes in?
When an order hits, the optimizer automates complex order routing based on the real-time stock levels and the geographical location of the warehouse that can fulfill the order fastest and cheapest. Furthermore, it uses predictive intelligence demand forecasting to reduce back orders.
So it's looking ahead.
Always. If it sees a massive surge coming in the Northeast for a certain product, it proactively reallocates stock from a less busy region to prepare, effectively lowering overall logistics costs due to intelligent, preemptive allocation decisions. It's optimizing the physical movement of goods using digital intelligence.
Agent 3 is where the money is, the smart pricing and negotiation agent. This is an agent focused on maximizing revenue by streamlining sales, quoting, and pricing with real-time market insights.
This agent is fundamentally changing how value is exchanged in B2B. It's a pricing manager that never sleeps and never guesses. It dynamically adjusts prices based on market conditions, the current demand curve for that specific product, raw material costs, and even competitor pricing intelligence that it's scraped from the public domain.
So it generates a quote that is perfect for that customer at that specific time, maximizing the margin without losing the deal.
Precisely. It generates AI-driven quotes instantly, even for complex, configurable products. And it can automate contract approvals based on predefined margin thresholds. For instance, if a buyer pushes back, the agent can instantly offer a concession that still meets the minimum margin requirement and then automatically processes the internal approval.
So the impact is?
The impact is higher conversion rates, maximized revenue per transaction, and dramatically sped up deal closure.
Let's pivot to the customer interface with Agent 4, the AI-powered product advisor. For complex B2B catalogs, this seems absolutely indispensable for enhancing discovery.
It is. B2B products often come with pages of compliance documents, safety sheets, technical specifications. The advisor's core function is enhancing product discovery and delivering personalized content and knowledge instantly. It serves as the ultimate digital sales engineer.
So no more endless scrolling through product lists.
Exactly. It provides AI-driven search recommendations that understand technical jargon and industry context. It offers real-time technical specifications and compliance details right alongside the product display, ensuring the buyer sees not just what the product is, but how it fits into their regulatory environment.
Which means fewer mistakes.
It results in faster, more accurate product discovery, which directly reduces misorders and product returns due to incompatibility.
And finally, Agent 5, the forward-looking agent, the predictive customer engagement agent. This agent focuses entirely on strengthening the long-term relationship through proactive, data-driven engagement.
Its mission is to maximize customer lifetime value, or CLV. It operates by continuously analyzing a vast array of customer behavior, how often they log in, which features they use, whether service tickets are increasing to predict future needs, and, critically, churn risk.
Once it spots an opportunity or a risk, how does it translate that into action?
It automates personalized outreach. If it detects a customer's usage of a specific machine part is spiking, it automates a personalized message offering a preventive maintenance service contract or maybe a larger, more durable component upgrade.
And on the flip side, for churn.
If it predicts a customer is at risk of churning due to falling usage, it drives targeted retention campaigns before the human team even realizes the customer is unhappy. It transforms customer support from reactive to proactive relationship management.
Now that we have the architecture and the specialized roles, let's look at Section 4, where we see these specialized agents come to life across different industries. We start with automotive, focusing on seamless order-to-cash and self-service.
The automotive parts sector is a perfect storm of complexity. You have these massive parts catalogs, tens of thousands of items, and this critical reliance on real-time data.
What's the classic pain point there?
The classic pain point is a dealership or a fleet repair shop needing a replacement component based on a specific vehicle identification number, or VIN. Historically, an outdated stock level in the parts distributor system could mean a 48-hour delay for the mechanic, which cascades into massive customer dissatisfaction.
So how does the AI agent eliminate that systemic delay?
The agent application has to handle that VIN-level detail. The AI enables real-time inventory tracking not just of general parts, but of parts allocated across various regional depots. Critically, it uses its knowledge base to identify the exact correct parts based on the specific vehicle specs provided via the VIN.
And it can be predictive, too.
Yes, the predictive engagement agent forecasts seasonal or regional demand like spikes for heavy-duty brakes in colder climates and automates reorder processes with suppliers instantly.
That seems to automate the back end, but what about the self-service element for the customer?
The self-service element is transformative for complex B2B buyers like fleet maintenance companies. They can track large, multi-component shipments across multiple third-party logistics providers. They can initiate complex returns for damaged or incorrect parts and submit detailed service requests or warranty claims, all through a single self-service platform, which used to take, multiple phone calls. Each of those steps required a separate phone call, manual paperwork, and human validation. The agent handles the validation instantly by consulting the memory of the contract terms.
So the core automation focus here is essentially instant, verified approvals.
That's right. The AI automates bulk order approvals based on predefined contractual terms. For example, if a dealership is always granted a 10% discount for orders over a certain threshold, the agent applies and approves that instantly, accelerating high-volume deals. And the Fulfillment Optimizer agent optimizes inventory allocation, ensuring stock of high-demand items is constantly distributed efficiently based on fluctuating regional repair demand, minimizing transport costs and downtime.
Let's move to oil and gas, where the focus is on intelligent order orchestration and fulfillment. The scenario here feels physically massive, managing volatile commodity logistics.
The physical reality is immense. The scenario involves managing complex logistics across refineries, vast storage tanks, and distribution hubs, often scattered globally, to meet highly volatile energy and chemical demands. A slight change in global pricing or a weather event can change demand instantly. The challenge is ensuring continuity of supply while minimizing the colossal logistics costs.
How does an AI agent tackle that scale and volatility?
The agent application aggregates real-time inventory data from every single facility, from a refinery's output to a distant storage tank's current volume. It forecasts regional demand, anticipating where a supply shortage might occur due to seasonal shifts or unexpected industrial needs. It then automatically triggers replenishment orders before the critical stock threshold is hit.
So it's a form of predictive, self-correcting supply chain management.
It truly is. And if there's a sudden disruption, a pipeline closure, or a refinery delay, how does the dynamic fulfillment optimizer respond? This is where dynamic order routing proves invaluable. The AI reallocates existing stock based on the updated supply chain conditions. It selects the optimal fulfillment facility, rerouting a shipment from a facility in one region to an urgent client in another to minimize delays and costs.
So it's constantly recalculating the best path.
Continuously. The agent is always calculating the most cost-effective path to delivery given the real-time constraints.
But supply shortages frequently lead to back orders in this sector, which can be catastrophic for industrial clients. That means exception handling is crucial.
This is the critical test of the autonomous system. The agent handles back orders by dynamically splitting orders. If a client needs 10,000 barrels and the nearest facility only has 6,000, the agent fulfills that partial amount immediately while simultaneously sourcing the remaining 4,000 from an alternative supplier or refinery.
And it keeps the customer in the loop.
Critically, it provides real-time, proactive customer updates, maintaining trust, and ensuring operations are minimally interrupted even during significant supply fluctuations.
Next, let's look at manufacturing in the context of the AI-driven sales quote and pricing experience. The scenario here involves complex, high-value sales industrial machinery, specialized materials, where manual negotiation is typically slow, inconsistent, and often requires several layers of human approval.
Manufacturing sales are inherently custom. A quote for specialized industrial machinery might depend on dozens of variables.
Sure.
Current raw steel costs, regional labor rates, fluctuating tariffs, the complexity of the custom configuration.
So manually generating and updating that quote is incredibly slow.
It is. The agent application centers on speed and margin protection. The smart pricing and negotiation agent is key here. It runs an AI-driven pricing engine that dynamically adjusts the final quoted price based on real-time factors like raw material costs pulled from market APIs and order volume. This eliminates the multi-day lag time associated with waiting for a human financial review when input costs change. The quote delivered is optimal for that specific moment.
And the power of negotiation analytics comes into play during the back and forth phase. How does the AI coach the human sales team or even negotiate on its own?
The AI analyzes vast historical sales data, thousands of similar deals, to recommend the optimal starting price. It can suggest specific counteroffers if the buyer pushes back, and even predict the likelihood of deal closure based on previous engagement patterns with that client. It makes the human sales team exponentially smarter and faster by arming them with data-backed negotiation strategies in real time.
And I imagine a key goal here is consistency. A customer shouldn't get one price from a sales rep, another from a distributor, and a third from the e-commerce portal.
Absolutely. That's the crucial integration element. The system ensures that sales representatives, external distributors, and the core e-commerce platform all access synchronized, real-time pricing and discount approvals driven by that same negotiation agent. This eliminates the embarrassing and costly problem of pricing inconsistencies across various channels, which often erodes trust and margin.
Let's look at B2B retail, where the focus shifts to dynamic content and knowledge engagement. This is the scenario defined by managing vast product catalogs, constantly updating compliance documents, and delivering personalized content across diverse customer segments.
B2B retail buyers, think resellers, large corporate facility managers, or specialized niche suppliers, they require massive amounts of technical information to purchase. The product specifications might change monthly, and compliance requirements, safety, environmental, regional change quarterly.
So the agent application ensures centralization and relevance for all that content.
Yes. Centralized AI content management acts as the single source of truth. It automatically synchronizes specifications, pricing, and critical compliance materials across all platforms instantaneously. The product advisor agent constantly monitors regulatory changes, ensuring accuracy and avoiding the legal risks associated with selling non-compliant products.
And for a buyer, that access to accurate information is crucial, especially in search.
Absolutely. Standard search often fails in B2B. The AI-powered search agent refines user queries based on deep industry context. For example, if a hospital procurement manager searches for disposable gloves, the AI immediately prioritizes surgical-grade, latex-free, and relevant regulatory-compliant options rather than general-use gloves. It understands the functional needs implied by the user's role and history.
And how does the engagement agent use this content dynamically?
It uses personalized content engines that analyze the buyer's viewing and purchase history to tailor recommendations. An executive might be suggested cost-saving white papers on supply chain optimization, while a maintenance crew chief is immediately served detailed technical manuals or installation videos.
And it handles compliance automatically.
Yes, automated workflows ensure content accuracy and compliance are maintained with evolving regulations in real time, drastically reducing manual content audits.
Finally, Section 4.5, High-Tech, AI-driven customer insights and engagement. In this world of subscriptions, cloud services, and recurring revenue, maximizing customer lifetime value, or CLV, is the sole mission.
The high-tech environment is defined by continuous usage and adoption. The challenge isn't the initial sale, but preventing churn and driving upgrades. The agent application here requires a consolidated 360-degree view of the customer, not just sales records, but granular usage data.
The source refers to a unified platform, let's call it Insight 360, that brings all this data together.
That's the engine. Insight 360 consolidates sales, service, and marketing data. How often they open the app, which features they interact with, what support tickets they file, for a true 360-degree customer view. This lets the system know not just what they bought, but critically, how they are utilizing the product and if they're realizing its promised value.
And this feeds directly into predictive intelligence, allowing the agent to forecast behavior before the human team even notices a trend.
Yes, agents using this predictive engagement framework forecast behavior. They are programmed to alert human teams to customers ready for an upgrade. For example, if a company is consistently hitting their usage limits or adopting advanced features rapidly. Conversely, they identify those at risk of churn due to reduced feature engagement, too many support tickets, or a lack of adoption following a major update.
And this leads to hyper-proactive engagement.
Precisely. The agents automate personalized outreach. They might send maintenance service offers before equipment downtime is predicted, or tailor renewal campaigns with relevant upgrade recommendations based on current usage. The source also notes a next best action engine that provides real-time strategic advice directly to sales and service teams during customer interactions.
What would that look like?
If a customer calls with a minor complaint, the agent instantly prompts the service rep. This customer has shown signs of churn risk. Offer the premium support package for 3 months at no cost. It ensures every human interaction is strategically optimized.
We've covered a tremendous amount of ground, moving from the microscopic structure of the AI brain to global supply chain execution in 5 distinct industries. Section 5 summarizes the trajectory of this transformation, starting with hyperautomation and predictive intelligence.
The future of B2B commerce, as outlined in this material, is defined by hyperautomation. This is not about automating one step of an invoice process. It is where specialized AI agents manage entire, complex workflows, the repetitive, high-volume tasks across order-to-cash, fulfillment, and dynamic pricing processes.
So we're talking about managing entire operational segments that historically required large, specialized human teams.
Exactly. And the value isn't just speed, it's the predictive power driving that speed.
Right.
Predictive intelligence dramatically enhances decision-making across the board. It allows the enterprise to move from reacting to events, like a sudden demand drop, to orchestrating them. It optimizes demand forecasting, proactively identifies those high-stakes churn risks we discussed, and pinpoints the absolute best sales opportunities in real time.
And that proactive behavior is driven by hyper-personalization, extending beyond marketing. For years, personalization meant changing the name on an email, but in B2B commerce, this is shifting into the core transactional functions.
The personalization now drives profitability and efficiency. This includes customized pricing models that are precisely tailored to customer loyalty, historical purchase volume, and contract adherence. Not just broad segments, but specific to the individual buyer.
And the content, too.
Yes, it involves smart content delivery based on the buyer's specific role. A technical manual for an engineer, a cost-saving white paper for a procurement executive, and conversational AI providing real-time, context-aware assistance throughout the purchasing journey. The entire transaction is customized.
This all builds toward the ultimate vision outlined in the source material: autonomous commerce. This is the leap from self-service to self-driving.
The source material suggests the next phase is where AI systems manage procurement, negotiations, and supplier interactions with minimal human intervention. We are talking about intelligent agents automating contract negotiations, literally determining service levels, delivery schedules, and payment terms within predefined parameters.
And even managing the supply chain itself.
And self-learning procurement systems, predicting supply chain disruptions, and adjusting standing orders proactively. That is a truly autonomous system operating within defined business rules, freeing up vast amounts of human capital.
And to make that final leap possible, we need emerging technologies driving the change. What are the bleeding edge components that will push this final mile toward full autonomy?
We're seeing advanced contract recommendation systems which will speed up legal negotiation phases by instantly suggesting optimal, legally compliant clauses based on the agent's knowledge of market standards. And crucially, we have AI-powered digital twins.
I love that concept, a digital twin. How does that translate to B2B logistics?
Think of it like running a highly realistic, constantly updating simulation of your entire warehouse operations or complex supply chain in a virtual environment. This allows businesses to test complex fulfillment strategies, virtually optimizing the placement of goods, rerouting shipments, testing robotic delivery systems before they deploy them physically.
So they can optimize for speed and cost without any risk.
It is a risk-free environment for perpetual optimization.
And finally, pulling the intelligence out of the central data center and onto the factory floor.
Yes, Edge AI. This utilizes localized computing sensors and devices directly on trucks, machinery, and factory floors. This allows for real-time tracking, such as smart reordering and inventory monitoring directly within logistics hubs or factory floors, ensuring the data feeding the autonomous agents is as current as humanly possible. The data never has to travel back to the cloud to be analyzed. The intelligence is right where the physical action is happening.
This is a massive transformation that fundamentally redefines the structure of B2B organizations, prioritizing data and speed above all else.
We've seen that AI agents are not simple scripts. They are complex, specialized systems with functional anatomies and collaborative frameworks that enhance accuracy, speed, and deep personalization. By adopting these foundational solutions, the 5 technology pillars and the 5 specialized agent archetypes businesses gain an undeniable competitive edge by moving towards smarter, faster, and truly intelligent operations.
So what does this all mean for you? This shift is transformative, moving from manual validation to instantaneous autonomous action. The historical inefficiencies that once plagued B2B, the slow quoting, endless manual inventory checks, and static pricing, are being systematically eliminated by collaborating AI agents. The core takeaway for you is the absolute necessity of adopting a unified, AI-ready data strategy to support these predictive, autonomous workflows. Without that unified data backbone, the agents are, as we said, completely blind.
And this leads us to our final provocative thought for you to mull over. If AI agents become sophisticated enough to manage complex procurement, supplier interactions, and contract negotiations autonomously, as the source suggests, what new, purely strategic role must the human procurement manager or sales executive evolve into to manage or perhaps even compete with this new level of self-driving commerce? Something for you to ponder until the next deep dive.